Here are 8 artifact creatures in the Esper range from Shards of Alara block. They are either white, blue, or black. And then there's also artifacts, either white, blue, or black. And they are monocolor, meaning that there isn't any flavor text that has a different color. In the case of these two that I'm showing, Sanctum Gargoyle has flying, and you can return an artifact card from your graveyard to your hand when it comes into play, something that Restoration Angel could help with. You can do it multiple times with that other card if you have the money to buy it. Court Homunculus, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It gets an additional +1/+1 as long as you control another artifact, and so it's a great play if you're playing heavy to the artifacts. Then the blue ones, these are all common cards. The sleeves are worth more than the card, which is kind of my style these days. If I win the lottery, I'll change my mind about that, maybe. Then in the case of the blue ones, they're a little heavier. They're 3-drop, a 4-drop, 5 and 6. So the 3 is Parasitic Strix, and the 4 is Fairy Mechanist. They both have flying, and of course, Parasitic Strix place on you controlling a black permanent, and then you gain 2 life, and your opponent loses 2 life. A target player, which is really good. I can see this being useful in some commander deck somewhere. Of course, when you combine blue and black, you have Dimir as a guild if you were in the Ravnica world of guilds. Fairy Mechanist, when it comes into play, you get to look at your top 3 cards, and you can get an artifact from those 3 to put into your hand. That can be handy again if you're playing an artifact heavy deck. Here come the heavier drops. At the 5-drop you have Cloud Heath Drake, and at the 6-drop you have Steel Clad Serpent. Very beautiful cards. Cloud Heath Drake actually has a white ability. I missed that. So this is actually an Azorius artifact that is not monocolored. I was wrong about that, which means that I might as well put in the other not so completely monocolored artifact creature that I had to show you. Gains vigilance, and the vigilance is an ability that is often found on white cards, meaning that it doesn't tap when it attacks. It remains untapped, which means that you get to play it for an extra turn. It doesn't miss a turn when it taps. I shouldn't say an extra turn. You get to use it to attack and block at the same time. That's what you really do when you don't have to tap it. In the case of Steel Clad Serpent, it's a 6-drop, a little heavy. 6-drop for 4/5. You got to control another artifact in order for it to attack. Well, it's a little heavy. The other card that I was mentioning, and this will put me over into 14 cards for this video, is Darklit Gargoyle. So there you have it. That's an Orzhov card because it's got a black ability where it gets +2/-1 until end of turn, meaning that it becomes a 3/1, a very aggro card. It's got flying. That's pretty good. Then we have 2 definitely monocolored black artifact creatures, both at 2 drops. Glaze Fiend gets +2/+2 when another artifact under your control comes into play until end of turn. That's pretty good, and it's got flying. Savage Slasher gets +1/+0 for each artifact card in your graveyard. That can be pretty good. Actually, if we're talking modern, there's a couple of cards in Dark Ascension that drop a lot of cards into your graveyard. I think it's Splinter Fright that does that. So I could see, and you can also self-mill with a Jace if you were playing blue, and then have a bunch of artifact cards in your graveyard, and this thing would get boosted to no end, even though it's a common. Now let's go through these artifacts. These are beautiful cards. I really love the way the Shards of Alara block cards were designed. Really mature, high quality designs. Thank you, Wizards. Marble Chalice. It's a 3-drop artifact and you gain 1 life. I think there's a talisman that used to be in Standard recently that did that. And I don't remember if it's a 3-drop or not. Dispeller's Capsule. You add 2 and a white. Sacrifice it. You can destroy a target artifact or enchantment. Typically an ability you'd find on green cards. I think Naturalize in green does that. Then you have Courier's Capsule, which is a 2-drop, and you can draw 2 cards if you add another 1 mana and a blue. It's really doing 2 colorless blue to get those draw 2 cards. It's a common card. Could be useful in casual. Then we'll finish off with the 2 decidedly black artifacts. Onyx Goblet. Target player loses 1 life every time you tap it. That's reasonable. Executioner's Capsule. You sacrifice it and you destroy a target non-black creature. Also very useful. So there you have it. Those are, I think it ended up being 14 artifacts and artifact creatures that I'm adding to this artifact heavy cube. I'm going to rewind a little so you can get to see these beautiful cards. I love these cards. They're so well designed. These artists really went out of their way to make gorgeous, gorgeous artwork for these cards. Keep them coming. These are really beautiful cards.